I'm going to go over the controls and indicators on the TEAC 6300. We'll start on this side. This is the power switch. Above it we have the tape counter. This is the counter repeat switch. It works in conjunction with the auto reverse feature. And there are two ways you can go into auto reverse. The first way is to, let's say we're in the play mode and we want to hear what's on the other side of the tape. Simply press this button and you'll hear what's on the other two tracks. So that's the first way of going into the reverse mode. The other way is to add some sensing foil to the bottom of your audio tape. And when that sensing foil, this little aluminum strip, when it makes contact with these two sensors that are on this roller, the unit will go into the reverse mode. I'm going to simulate that with a little metal strip. And when we touch those two contacts, the unit goes into the reverse mode. And this is where the counter repeat switch comes into play. When we set it to all zeros, when it goes past that point to 99.99, it'll go back into the forward mode. Okay, next we have the reel size switch. The large is for the 10-inch reels. The small setting is for the smaller reels. The speed switch, it runs at 3 3/4 and 7.5 inches per second. This is 3 3/4 inches per second, and this is 7.5 inches per second. Next we have the keypad. Pretty self-explanatory. These are the directional buttons. When you press them once, they go into the play mode. If you press them and then you press the fast button, it'll go into the fast forward or fast wind that direction, or rewind in that direction. This is forward. This is fast forward. This is reverse. And this is rewind. The record switch works in conjunction with these two switches, which are called the record mode switches. If they're not engaged when you press record and play, the unit will just be in the play mode. When they're in, okay, my battery died right in the middle of the record section explanation. If the record mode switches are off, you can press record and play, and it just stays in the play mode. If you have those switches engaged in the on position, you press record and play, and then it goes into the record mode. The pause switch only works, or no, excuse me, it only illuminates, the pause light only illuminates when you're in the record mode. Let's say we're not in the record mode, we're still in pause, but the pause light is not illuminated. So press play, go into, just pause the deck. We're in pause, but since we're not in record mode, the pause light isn't illuminated. Okay, the next thing we're going to go over is the microphone input level pot. This controls the amount of energy that's sent from the microphones onto the tape. These are your two microphone inputs. They're regular 1/4-inch jacks, and this controls the left and the right channels. For the line inputs, these are this switch works with the RCA jacks at the rear of the machine, and it controls the amount of energy that goes on to the tape from your external device, being an MP3 player, cassette deck, or whatever. And these are your headphone jacks. These are your VV meters. This is your tape monitor switch. When it's in the tape mode, it monitors what's being played on the tape. When it's in the source mode, it's monitoring the input that's going into the machine. And this is the output potentiometer. So, and it just controls how loud you want the tape deck to play. This one is your meter level switch. If you're playing tape or making a recording where you're using the VU meters are kind of pegged out, you'll move it from normal to high, and that drops down the VU meters about 3 dB. But for most applications, you want to leave it in the normal position. Bias and EQ. This unit is calibrated for Scotch high output 200 series tapes and 150 tapes for the positions 1 and 2. You can refer to the manual and see which bias and EQ settings work best for your tape, but it's always best to experiment and see if you can tell a difference in either one of the settings as you're doing some recordings, because sometimes tapes get switched up when you're changing them from reel to another reel, and the box might say it's a UD 35-180 or a Scotch 206 or whatever, but it may not be that actual tape on the reel. So it's best to just play with these and see which one gives you the best reading. And we've already gone over the record mode switches. That pretty much covers it on the 6300. If you have any questions about the machine, just drop me a line and I'll get back with you.